Peter evacuated Rose immediately. This proved Chief Farr couldn't be trusted. Their critical hard drive remained undecrypted. More alarming still, the victims had mentioned a national security threat, set to unfold in 5 days. With time running out, they took desperate measures.
Second thought. What if we do give her the drive?
Peter soon delivered the drive to Farr's office. Rose wasn't with him. He lied she fled during refueling. Farr didn't suspect, and initiated decryption with supercomputers. For security, she locked down the room, accessible only to her and the president. Then she dismissed Peter.
No, I think I should be by the phone. When she was at the hotel, Rose called me on night action, so maybe if we give her some time to think, she'll call again and I can convince her to come in. Or at least ping her burner, and we can get her location that way.
Farr approved the plan, unaware it was Peter and Rose's ruse. Rose waited in a cafe with her laptop, monitoring decryption progress. She called Night Ops, demanding to speak directly with Farr. Peter lured Farr to the basement, swiping her access card mid-call. He rushed to the decryption room, inserting a wireless adapter, then installed necessary drivers to link the mainframe to Rose's laptop. The decryption completed just then. Rose kept Farr distracted while downloading the files. Mid-download, 2 cops entered the cafe. She hung up to avoid suspicion. Alerted, Peter rushed to reset the chair, but as he left, Farr approached the door. She turned back realizing she'd forgotten her access card. Peter took an alternate route back, then slid the card under some files. I thought we were in the clear, but just as Farr returned to the server room, he found the decrypted drive completely empty. After Rose downloaded the files, she remotely wiped data from the server room. Farr immediately grew suspicious. She found the wireless dongle Pete left in his haste. Furious, she stormed down to the basement without explanation.
It's empty. The hard drive. It's fucking blank.
Do you think the Campbells might have wiped it or something?
Or you did. Found this on the air gap.
Caught red-handed, Pete dropped all pretenses. He confronted her about the morning's assassins. I only called you, Farr. You're the only leak possible. Farr's expression shifted. At the accusation, she summoned a passing technician, screened my phone for spyware, then revealed classified intel. Rose's relatives were investigating last year's subway bombing for the president. They found anomalies suggesting the bomber came from within the White House. The traitor's identity remains unknown, but infiltrating the chief of staff's phone implies high-level access. Convinced by Farr's candor, Pete chose to trust her again. They found Rose and explained her relative's true fate. Rose refused to surrender the drive, insisting on investigating the bombing herself. Before their arrival, Rose had found clues in the drive's data. A faint watermark on blueprints led her to enhance the contrast, revealing a construction firm's address. With Farr's approval, they drove to the company's location. The address led them deeper into rural isolation. Through dense woodland they drove, arriving at a secluded cabin. Though suspicious, they knocked on the weathered door. An elderly woman answered, and leveled a shotgun at them. Only after learning Rose's identity did she lower the weapon. The former civil engineer revealed, I provided urban plans to Rose's relatives. Recently, they took structural diagrams of clustered buildings. All structures were concentrated in one district. Investigating the area, they found only shops and cafes. No government buildings visible. Nothing worth attacking, it seemed. The drive also contained power grid and gas line schematics.
Why would my aunt and uncle want intel on power grids and gas lines?
Searching for vulnerabilities. Sabotage targets, maybe.
But what's important enough to be a target around here?
Got me.
As they puzzled, Pete noticed water rippling in a vibrating sink. Is there a subway below us? A server confirmed. Underground trains ran beneath. Pete's eyes lit up. I stopped that subway bomb.
The Metro bomb. Look, the bomb detonated here, right? That's just because I stopped the train. What if it was meant to explode someplace else?
The engineer pulled up maps, revealing a critical overlap. Gas main beneath subway tracks. Detonation here could have flattened 2 neighborhoods. Security footage revealed a woman whispering into a mic. 4-5 hours pre-explosion. Pete froze. He recognized the surveillance subject. It's her. That woman. I know her. That's Agent Ellington from the Secret Service. Her job requires protecting top government officials, so her presence implies something serious. A VIP was in the vicinity then.
Rose, this isn't a terrorist attack anymore. This is an assassination attempt.
To identify the target, Pete immediately contacted Arlington, wanting to know who she protected that day. But after consulting her superiors, Arlington didn't reveal the truth. Only when Pete asked about Osprey, a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. But she hung up without saying more. Rose knew this code name from her aunt. a VIP possibly targeted in days. With very little time left, they split up to find clues. Rose went to the library, trying to ID the assassin via his ring. Pete visited Hawkins' wife, hoping to get some useful leads. He then learned Hawkins was investigating the subway bombing. After sorting through the doubts, he targeted Retrofit Lake Industries. He was killed the day he was to meet the CEO. Hawkins wasn't a mole at all. He was silenced for getting too close. He investigated alone, because he couldn't trust anyone in the White House. Pete got a lead, and went back to Rose with the intel. But hearing the name, Retrofit Lake, Rose suddenly felt a chill. Through the assassin's ring, she also found some clues. The ring's crest was from a deposed royal family. The family's prince wore an identical ring, but oddly, the prince vanished mysteriously 2 years ago. The police wanted their assassin at the time, but that's not the point. Before disappearing, the prince denounced a defense contractor. And guess what?
Turn Lake Industries.
Retrofit Lake is behind all of this. Even worse, the company is funded by VP Field. Photos show Field and Wick, the C, are old acquaintances. All signs point to VP Field being the White House mole. Such a stunning discovery made Pete and Rose break into a cold sweat. This is critical. They gathered the data overnight to report to the president via the chief of staff. But Pete was cautious. He had Rose stay at her childhood friend's while he took the info to report back. But unbeknownst to him, the assassin was monitoring them. Back at the White House, Pete reported Retrofit Lake planned the bombing and conspired with the VP. He reported everything to FAHR. FAHR was shocked. HR is Field's accomplice. While she was gone, Pete told Rose to evacuate and meet him at the docks. FAHR was also contacting Wick, telling him Rose must be eliminated. After the call, she dropped the act, ready to arrest Pete. But unexpectedly, Pete had already fled. But when Swipe got an idea, he knocked over his files, stealing his access card in the chaos. But he was spotted in the basement.
Someone! I don't someone!
He had to bolt out the door, fleeing to the equipment room. The agents followed, but Pete hid in an air duct. Unseen, he saw the emergency passage code. After the agents left, he quickly entered the code, escaping the White House through the tunnel. Usually, no matter how they try to pass or detour, the killer always finds them. He instantly sensed something wrong. A tracking device must be on the car. His friend dropped Rose at a corner, then drove on to divert the assassins. But the brief pause on the tracker alerted the cunning assassins. The male assassin decided to split up, ordering his partner to keep tailing, while he chased into the alley, but was grabbed on the beach. Struggling desperately, outmatched in strength, he soon grabbed her by the throat. Pete arrived just in time, shoving the assassin away. Throwing a punch, they brave. The two took refuge in a prepared yacht, only to hear shocking news. That same night, VP's daughter Maddie was kidnapped. He publicly named a suspect, accusing Pete on live TV. Another scheme by Fall to discredit Pete preemptively and silence him from speaking to media, while mobilizing police for a nationwide manhunt. This only strengthened Pete's resolve to find the bombing evidence and expose the VP and Fall. He recalled seeing a serpent tattoo on the bomber. Tracking this lead, they found suspect Colin, with matching tattoo, ex-employee of VP's donor. But strangely, Colin died of overdose post-bombing. FBI files showed scant records on him. Clearly evidence was erased. Through murder and tampering, Pete found Colin's relative, whose warehouse held his belongings. They rushed to investigate, but upon arrival, they met Ellington's team. Pete explained Fall's frame job. Ellington remained skeptical. 2 days prior, Pete was Fall's trusted agent.
You two have a falling out?
Yeah, actually. When I found out she was behind the metro bombing from a year ago.
Rose intervened, revealing bomber files in her bag. Seeing Colin's photo, the agents tensed. Their kid looked identical to Colin. Impossible. Pete insisted. Colin died a year ago.